Continuing on, we found one cabin in the woods, and there's another cabin out here to find, which we just ran into. This log cabin, which actually shows up on the map as hunting cabin. There's another hunting cabin on the map. In the cabin, there's a party going on. Hey, and there are all these people hanging around. Well, let's see what's in this back room. Yeah, he more or less says, he challenges you, and you can talk him out of it. We are all buffed up, by the way, just in case. And they whine about, and that gets you in the back room, but it doesn't actually get you anywhere because they still all attack you anyways. And while I'm just sort of messing around with Azar here, the rest of my party is destroying the guests in the other room. And Azar is having some fun with improved invisibility, so we're going to have to do something to deal with that. Fortunately, the MS Arcana has True Seeing. Oh, too late. Anyway, I'll clean up and see back on the map. Nothing much of interest for loot, just a bunch of +2 gear, which is I can make better, and some random musical instruments which cast a couple spells, as well as the Gauntlets of Iron Fist, of course, which is the reason we were there. Our next stop is the Crystal Cave. You can actually buy your way out of this if you feel peaceful for some reason, but there's not much reason to. Let's get to it. Sort of an awkward time to gain a level. I won't bother doing it until I've finished the area. This is another area where a lot of enemies use knockdown. I have Foundation of Stone, which is a level 1 druid spell, which makes me immune to knockdown, but frankly, I'm just not going to bother with it. They're not that hard. If you're doing this at a lower level, or if, like I was doing a while ago, a solo run, it becomes very important, because otherwise you're just going to sit there and hit knocked down constantly. But we have so much firepower that it's really a non-issue. They can't even really hit me, so... And Tuka Kut here is the boss. And he's another fell troll, which means he's got two heads. But neither one of them has anything interesting to say. And even he can't hit me, so... Now, there's one interesting thing about this area. There's a fake wall over here, and you can't pick the lock, you can't knock the lock, you have to search and find this lever. It shows up immediately for me because I'm an elf. And there isn't really very much of interest here, but I'll see you back on the map with just a summary of the loot I found. Not much of note for the loot. There's this ring of major acid resistance, but other than that, it's just +1 and +2 gear. It's worth money if you still need money, but I don't. Trying to clean up loose ends here. There's some more bandits here, and we're still looking for the bandit leader so that we can get his interview in for Volo's quest. We may not actually get away with it. Except, oh wait, here he is. And, you know, you can sort of interview him, and you can then kill him off, or you can just let him go. It's just not, he doesn't have anything of interest, so. Last place to go is Phandalin, and there's just a town quest here. Danley here wants you to clean out another mine, and yeah, so we're just gonna have to go there. You can't go to the mine first; it doesn't show up on your map until you talk to him. The iron mine's just southeast of town. Well, it looks like there are already some people here, and you know, I guess they already cleared the mine. So, unfortunately, our spellcraft has picked up some magic, so, and it looks like, well, okay, it's just some ogre magi who have impersonated some humans so that they can take over the mine and make some profit. You know, what's wrong with that? Anyway, there are a lot of really weak enemies throughout this area, and I'm not going to bother doing it on screen. When you kill everything, the quest updates. This is an interesting little door here. You must actually pick it. You cannot bash it down. You cannot cast the knock spell. You would think that they would be protecting something important with such a powerfully warded lock, but there's nothing but garbage back there. The only item of note in that area is this Gromchek's walking stick, and the only reason that's at all interesting is because it gives a spellcraft bonus. So if you need spellcraft for a conversation, you can switch that in. I wouldn't recommend using it as an actual weapon. Back in Phandalin, we hand the quest in, and you can try and stiff him or something, but all you get is 500 more GP, so real advantage to investing in conversation skills, because 500 GP really impresses me at this point. Back at Crossroad Keep, we'll hand in the Researching Bandits quest. And then I'm going to tell them about all the places I've visited, and, you know, and that's all. And now, with my having handed all those in, I have +2 to a couple skills. You can actually get +2 more to survival, and then he more or less gives up on. We'll hand in the quest to Sasani. Well, and she actually doesn't tell you anything. We dealt with our problem with trolls. Oh, right. We have to report to Varial. And we get some more money and some XP for that. And I'll hand in some more trade bars. And we'll continue handing in quests. Here's Coral, who we ran into back in West Harbor. And we'll deal with him in a second. And we're just handing some stuff in to Calgar. And, you know, whatever. And he babbles at you for a while. And you can use diplomacy at him, and eventually you can just recruit him into your party. He's not really very useful. Warlocks are not bad, but not one that you haven't custom built yourself is just not worth using. One last quest to hand in Neverwinter. Our friendly sensate has a few more things he needs. And he gives you a part 3 to the quest, which we can hand in 2 more things, and we're done. And he gives you a sensory stone, which it works like the Thayan learning scrolls. It gives you XP. It also shows a little story, and it's kind of a shout out to Planescape Torment. Other than the keep upgrades that I'm not going to bother with, there's nothing left to do on the Sword Coast except the meeting in Cunnyberry. So I'm going to tell Astra that I'm ready to attend, and we'll pick up there next time.